Welcome, guys. This is Phil Martin, and it's on film time again. It is August 28th. We are running out of summer, and we have reached the point where most theaters are open. I have only been to the one I go to, because it's close to my house, and so I don't know what it's like at every theater, but it seems, okay. Safe enough. There's not a whole lot of people there. I don't do the concession stand sort of thing because, bad incident with Red Sky in the Morning back in 1960, 1979, 1970. Somewhere in there with the hot buttered popcorn smell. But anyway, so you can go back to the theaters, and whether you want to go back to the theaters or not, I think that's a personal choice, and you can decide that for yourself. We're going to probably shift a little bit now and start paying more attention to the movies that are actually in theaters, a little less attention to the movies that are on streaming, but we're going to still try to keep, a balance and to write about the most important things, or what we see as the most important things that are coming out regardless of the platform they're going to be on. So it's going to be interesting because I've always, resisted this idea about writing about TV because I thought that was a really good way to, make a distinction and say, okay, this side is TV and this side is movies, and you can write about this, but let's have someone else write about that. The dynamic's different. There are a lot of similarities between TV shows and movies, but they're not exactly the same thing. You invite somebody into your house and they live in this little box. That's a different feeling than having them projected on the screen, 20 feet high. It's becoming less of a distinction these days with our bigger TV sets and our better equipment. But still, there's still something ritualistic and kind of, I don't know, important about going out to a theater and sitting in the dark with strangers to look at stuff that's flashing on the wall. If you're at home, that's a great experience and can be a really good experience, but it's still kind of different. But reality is that's the way most of us consume most of the stuff that we watch. So I'm not against it. I'm going to keep writing about the Netflix and the HBO and that. And the difficulty going forward will be not in having enough things to write about, which has sometimes been the problem in the past, because if you followed this section through these last 20 years, then you know that there's sometimes that there are disadvantages to being a film critic in a tertiary market like Little Rock, where they don't screen for you often, and you don't have a whole concentration of film critics. We do have a small community here, film critics, and I wish we could do better getting screenings for us and getting opportunities to see things in advance, but that's just not the way the economy of the thing works out. So, the thing is that now we can write about anything, and we can write about it a week after it opens if we want, and we can write about it 2 years after it opens if it. Streaming things hang around for so long, and the way they're discovered, it's not like there's some big advertising campaign and everybody flocks to see them opening night. So we're going to try to take a different approach to things. I'm explaining some of that in this new column, which is really an old column. It's called New Movies. And for the duration, I don't know how long I'm going to do this, but for a while anyway, I'm going to write it in a different way than we used to present new movies, because new movies used to be just this listing of what was opening and the pertinent details, the director, who was in it, a synopsis based on the material the studio presented, and okay, that was useful. It was useful because we needed to let you know what was opening in theaters, and We still need to do that, but I think I'm going to do it in a different way. One of the reasons I'm doing it is because I'm losing for the next month Eric Harrison, who is a trooper, and he's going to go do some other interesting stuff for our online people. With him gone, I don't have anybody to contact the theaters and to write up these capsules, so I'm going to do it my way, which we'll see how it works. And I don't know if I'm going to continue to do it when Eric comes back. We may just revert to the old new movies schemata, or maybe he'll take it on and start doing what I was doing, or maybe there'll be something else that happens. But anyway, many changes coming. I mean, this section's been around for 20 years, and it's gone. It's evolved, and I think we were ready for this pandemic because we had already taken some forays into writing about streaming stuff and to looking at movies in an unconventional way. And, you know, platform diving's been around for a while now, looking at different things on different, you know, streaming channels and things like that. So we're kind of experienced with it. But it's changing all the time. And now, you know, we've sort of got, you know, this week is really interesting because we've got 4 movies opening that I know of right now. And 3 of them I don't think we're going to have reviews of. And part of the reason for that is that, you know, we are a tertiary market. Little Rock, Arkansas is not Philadelphia or Kansas City, but they're not screening these films in Philadelphia or Kansas City either. I don't know exactly what the strategy is. Tenet is opening, you know, select theaters, special screenings. I don't know. Are they going to charge you more for that? I don't know. But it's officially opening on September 3rd, I think. But there's going to be screenings as early as Monday for it. So ideally, we would have a review under the old way we used to look at things. The ideal thing would have been to have a review on Friday, this Friday, before people get to see it on Monday, if that's what they choose. But we're not going to do that because I would rather us write about it than to have, even though I saw a pretty good Washington Post review today, we could have run that Friday and then we'd had our Tenet review on Friday, and we would have beaten everybody, like we care about that, which I honestly don't. I honestly don't care about being first with anything like this. I mean, I know some people do, and some people, you know, that's why they have embargoes, because people, you know, want to get the stuff in the, you know, published before anybody else. But I'd just as soon wait and see it ourselves and then give you the viewpoint of one of our critics that you can read week to week and that you can calibrate, you know, your reaction off of, because you know how you felt before when I've reviewed something. You know, if I like it, you probably don't, and or vice versa. If or if I like it, you do like it, you know, or if Piers Marchand likes something, you may, you know, that may mean something to you. It may not. It may mean nothing to you. But at least you've got, you know, years of Piers's work or Dan Liebarger's work that you know about. So you kind of have an idea. The idea is that you would have an idea about the critic too, as well as the work that's being, you know, criticized. So, and what's the big deal about getting it 3, 4, 5, 7 days ahead of your competition? I mean, people can go online right now and read, you know, about Tenet if they want to. I mean, I'm not going to be able to stop that. I don't, you know, I just don't understand why now we would be competing in that way with anybody. So we're not. We're just not. We're just going to do it as we do it, as we see fit. No one's stopping us. You know, no one's telling me to, you know, change things or not change things or something like that. It's just, it seems to make more sense to do it in the way that we can do it, which is we can write about the movies. Okay? It doesn't matter if it's already open or if it's going to open. You'll get a chance to see it. A lot of people don't have HBO. A lot of people don't have Netflix. A lot of people don't have Hulu. They don't have whatever these things are on. the streaming services, but we're still writing about them. There's a Netflix movie that's coming out next week that may be our lead because I'm going to watch it this week, and it depends on how it goes. We're going to write about it. All right. So you can see these changes going on. You can judge how we address this pandemic stuff. I think we did really well. I mean, of course, I'm biased, but, we had the IFC movies that were opening every week, pretty much, and occasionally other things, but we were paying a lot of attention to, the stuff that's streaming. And we didn't always hit the streaming stuff on the day it dropped, and nobody complained about that. So, nobody complains. That's good, because no one ever tells you do a good job. I mean, the only feedback you ever get is a complaint. That's just part of the business. So, what else? Well, Tenet, I have no idea whether it's going to be good or not, but I'm really looking forward to it. And it feels like a big event. It feels like the first big movie of the year, really. I mean, we've had some good films, but nothing that really has sort of ignited this sort of cultural conversation the way a good blockbuster, a good, smart Christopher Nolan Inception-type blockbuster can. There's been nothing to set us off that way. So I'm hoping that it's good, and I'm hoping that it's one of those films that people do spend a lot of time thinking and talking about. We'll see. I likely will not see it for a while because I'm probably going to stay out of the theaters. I might make a trip to see this one. I don't know, but we're going to get pretty busy here pretty quick. Now that the movies are coming out again, we're going to run into the same trouble that we had before the pandemic, which is that sometimes we're not going to be able to have reviews of them because they won't screen for us or we can't get them in time. It's like one of the problems we have is our deadlines are pretty early. I pretty much have to have the section put together by Wednesday noon, and a lot of the screenings and even a lot of the online things don't happen until at least Wednesday night. So if you have something on Wednesday night, it really doesn't do us much good. The film opens Friday and it's on a Wednesday. It's like it's too late for us. We're already done. But again, moving away from this whole model of being, the day of, kind of review, the day it opens, we can handle that. We've done that before on occasion. We've written about it a week after it's come out. So, we will continue to do that. We'll continue to monitor the situation. It may get to the point where we actually don't write about some movies on purpose because we have other movies that we're writing about too. I don't know how that's going to work out. Right now, we privilege theatrical releases. We really still concentrate on those. But I can foresee a day where, there's a Woody Allen movie, or that's a bad example because there probably won't be another Woody Allen movie anytime soon that, you can see in this country. He's such a controversial figure and all that. But if there, like the Five Bloods or something, the next Spike Lee movie. So if it comes out on Netflix, and there's we might decide to privilege the Netflix movie over the theatrical movie, depending. I think we certainly would have done that with Hamilton had there been anything opening in competition with it in theaters. So the models are changing and shifting and overlapping and all this. I mean, I think at some point in the not too distant future, you're going to see a lot more stuff that's in theaters and then either immediately online or online and in select theaters and stuff like that. There's going to be a lot of crossover, especially since I think that I don't predict things like this, but I think within a year or so, Netflix will have its own movie chain. It might own AMC. I don't know, but it might. And then you will see, Netflix movies that come out in theaters, and whether they'll continue to put them on their platform at the same time, who knows? Who knows? I mean, it's all up in the air. This pandemic has really kind of I mean, I think it's been an opportunity for a lot of little films to break through for a week or two. Things like The Rental. IFC did a really good job releasing films throughout this thing, and mostly in most parts of the country, they were putting them in drive-ins. Here, they've been playing basically at the Riverdale and the VIP theaters throughout the state. And the drive-ins have been playing classic films, so it's sort of different in Arkansas than it's been other places. But they've probably gotten more attention and more noise, made more noise this year than they otherwise would have. There've been a good slate of films, but there's the sort of films that get drowned in the normal course of summer blockbustery, things coming out. And without summer blockbustery things, they had a chance to thrive. Now the problem was you didn't have your summer blockbusters, you didn't have your big popcorn movies, and I guess we're going to start to see them come out. Though I don't know. I mean, it's sort of like the Toronto Film Festival is going to be here very shortly, and I think most of that's going to be virtual. And I think I'm waiting for Piers Marchant to clue me in, but I think that maybe they might expand their. I might actually be at I might actually do a virtual festival this year, even though I haven't done Toronto in quite a while now. So we'll see how that goes. But you've got the prestige season coming up, and I don't think that it's not like everything is going to get pushed back a quarter. So a lot of the films that were supposed to come out this summer will probably be held until next summer. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could do some research, and maybe people have spoken to that, but it seems to me like a lot of the films that are coming out in the fall are still coming out in the fall. And I don't know when we're going to see some of the other things. Mulan's going to go to Disney Plus, and you can pay extra for it. And things like, the New Mutants are sneaking out this week. So that's pretty much the wrap up for right now. I should learn not to hit the desk. I'm going to be teaching a Zoom class, and this is one of the things that's really sort of got me a little nervous. I'm going to be teaching a Zoom class through LiveQuest. If you're interested, LiveQuest of Arkansas Go. You can sign up, pay $65, and you can, pick and choose all these classes that you can go to. I mean, that's a plug. I don't get any, money from that or anything. But, it's a good program. I like it. I support them. I've been doing this, many years, 12, 15 years I've done this. But, I'm going to be teaching this time. I'm going to be talking to this camera right there. And I guess I'll have faces of students on my screen. And they're not really students. What we really do is we have a seminar, and we sit around and talk about movies. We show one. And I don't know what I'm going to show. Had a whole thing set up, and then we started talking about this, and I realized I can't play Blu-rays through this setup. And that's my fault, because I just don't have a Blu-ray player connected to this, to my computer, and I'm not going to do it because I use this computer for a lot of other things, for recording, and so I'm not going to switch my setup on the computer just to accommodate Blu-rays. So I'm going to have to go back and rethink it and play films that are, not Blu-rays. And I got a bunch of them. See the plastic in the corner? Those are all films that are those little cabinets. There's 5 of them stacked up there, and each of them holds about, 350 films. So 5 times 350. That's the sort of working library I've got. I've also got a bunch of them, saved on my iTunes that I can apparently play through Zoom too. So we'll work something out. I'm not exactly. And I could go to the Criterion channel, and I could play them too, because apparently Zoom does not know what you're playing. It just will share your screen. So I don't know what I'm going to show. I was supposed to tell them last Friday, but I think Shanghai Triad may be one of them, Yang Yimou. And I think that I might go back and do a couple of other older films and maybe find something halfway recent. Maybe something from the 90s. Maybe something that was made after Pulp Fiction. I don't know. Well, Shanghai Triad. There you go. That's post Pulp Fiction. So we're going to work on that. We're going to have our little curriculum set up here and pretty soon. That starts on September 14th. And wish me luck, but you'll get to see some movies, at least if you sign up. And that should be worth your $65. And then you can go over and listen to John Brummett talk. He teaches a class too. Only he really teaches. I sort of engage people in conversation normally, which is one of the reasons why I'm worried, because I don't lecture. And I think Zoom is probably very good for, delivering a lecture, and not so good for someone who works symposium, seminar style like me. We'll find out. Anyway, no dogs this week. Audi was up here, but she left because I was setting up the equipment. Actually, I was sitting up here waiting. I just got back in from a bike ride, and I was, took a shower, drying off and all that. So she got impatient and left. Anyway, thanks so much. Feedback's always encouraged and always appreciated. You can give it to me here, or you can send me an email, which is what most people do, or you can attack me on Facebook or anything. My Twitter handle is @BorkDog. That's all I got. We'll see you next week, and we'll see you at the movies. And next week, maybe we'll talk about Tenet, and maybe we'll talk about some of the other things too that I will have seen by the time I'm back here. Okay?